Hi, good morning. I hope everyone can hear me okay. My name's Tracy and I work in admissions at Monroe Community College. And thank you so much for taking some time to learn a little bit about MCC today. Truly appreciate that. And my colleague is here as well. She's gonna also speak about a new program that we have at MCC. So I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Jessica Salzberg, and I'm a student advocate for Pathways to College, which is a program that, sorry about that, if you are hearing what's in my, I don't know if you hear what's in my ears or not, but I'm a student advocate for a group of students in Pathways to College, and you'll learn more about that program shortly. And I'm excited to be here and talk about the new program because it's something that we are really excited to share with people, and I'm gonna turn it back over to Tracy.
I'm just gonna share my screen and pull up my PowerPoint.
So they can just go right through. So, and then the job interview.
Hannah, can everyone see that okay?
Yes, I can see. Can everybody else see? Thumbs up.
Yep. I just read it.
I think so.
All right. Thank you. Again, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We're excited to talk a little bit more about MCC with all of you. And please feel free to ask questions. We'd like this to be as interactive as possible. And I'm very open to answering any questions that you have as we go through the process. So these are some things that we've noticed at MCC that adult learners are hoping for and looking for in terms of their college experience. They're hoping for some flexible programs, some flexibility in terms of time and options in the way they can take their classes, some convenience of the courses, choices. What kind of programs can I study? What are the options? What are the choices that are available? Affordability. So being able to pay for college. We do have access to career services, which is wonderful because that gives you the chance to kind of get your career process started while you're at MCC. So our career services can help with things like interviews, your resume, and getting those pieces set up, but they can also help with career exploration. So trying to figure out what you might want to study and what careers are a good fit for you. We do have technology assistance for students, as well as guidance with our academic advising. We can guide students in terms of course selection. And we try to have programs that the community is looking for in terms of career options. So we try to keep those relevant and timely as well. So why might MCC be right for you? So MCC is actually part of the State University of New York. A lot of times we just think of it as Monroe Community College, but Monroe Community College is actually a piece of the whole SUNY network, which encompasses 64 different college campuses. So we are part of the SUNY system. And we're a large college. We have almost 10,000 students that attend MCC, but that large number, we try to make it have a smaller campus feel. So we have smaller classroom sizes. We have about 25 as our average classroom size. And those 10,000 students are spread over multiple campuses. So we have several campuses that students are attending as well. We are the third largest community college in New York, and we're in the top 25 nationally for degree completion. And we actually have 6 different campuses, 6 different campus locations. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. So we have over 100 different degree programs. So we have programs that are both set up for you to transfer to go on and earn your bachelor's degree, as well as career programs. So the career degrees are also 2-year degrees, but they set you up for employment after you complete the degree. And the transfer degrees set you up to continue on so that you should have about 2 years left when you go on to earn your 4-year bachelor's degree. So we have students that are enrolled in both of those programs. And we also have certificate programs that are offered at MCC, including an honors study certificate. So certificate programs usually are about a year long, and those are very focused in on what a student is interested in and what they're hoping to learn. So we do, for example, have a human service certificate, which is pretty much all human services courses. So it's very focused, and it takes about a year to get done. So we do have over 100 academic degrees and certificates, which is pretty uncommon for community colleges. There is a lot to choose from. So it gives you a lot of options, especially if you're coming in and you're not quite sure what you want to study. There is a ton of different possibilities when you look at MCC. So a lot of our programs, especially now, because currently most of our courses are offered online or remote due to the pandemic. So we had online courses before, but now we'll probably have many more opportunities for virtual schooling, just based on what how we had to transition recently. But we do have a number of programs even before the pandemic that were offered fully or partially online. So these are our campuses. There's 6 different campuses, but 1 college. So the Brighton campus is the main campus, the one most people are familiar with, and that's on East Henrietta Road. It's about 300 acres in size, and that houses most of our academic programs, as well as our residence halls and our child care center. And then the downtown campus is located at it's on Maury Silver Way and State Street. It's very close to Frontier Field, and it has 7 floors. It used to be part of the Kodak building, but we've only opened it, I believe it was in 2017. So it's very new. It's a beautiful place, and that houses our education, our criminal justice, and our human service degrees. And then we have the Applied Tech Center, which is really just up the road from our main campus in Brighton. And that houses our hands-on majors, including automotive tech, our heating, ventilation, air conditioning program, as well as our precision machining program. And then our public safety training facility is on Scottsville Road. And that actually serves regionally to train different police, fire, and emergency medical community. And for MCC, it houses our EMT program, our Homeland Security, and our fire protection program as well. And then our Economic Development and Innovative Workforce Services, we call that EDOWIS. They have actually joined our downtown campus, so they're part of that now. And then we also have a virtual campus. So students who come to MCC and are thinking about continuing on and transferring on to the 4-year institutions, the door is kind of wide open on that. So you can come to MCC for 2 years and complete courses, and you really will have a lot of options following MCC. So we have students that transfer on to public schools locally, like SUNY Brockport or Buffalo State, as well as private schools, including the University of Rochester, Syracuse University, Northeastern, and then Ivy League schools. So students who do really well at MCC have those opportunities to go on to really competitive Ivy League type of institutions following MCC as well. So MCC really tries to work with the community and get an understanding of what local industries are looking for and what are some possible national trends to develop programs that can put our graduates in high demand type of careers and degrees. So some of these degrees can lead to great careers coming out of MCC. So we have within these areas on the slide, a 2-year degree that's set up for 2 years at MCC and then employment. So we've really tried to work with the area to see what kind of careers would be sought after in the local area. So our healthcare includes programs such as nursing, dental hygiene, radiologic technology, surgical technology, and a clinical lab tech. And within our hospitality programs, it's exciting, and it's a wonderful place if you're on campus to eat, because they do such an excellent job. But our hospitality program actually provides a hands-on opportunity on campus where they're running their own student-run restaurant called Food for Thought. And they participate in all the different roles that are associated with running a restaurant. MCC is the only community college in the country where you can get associate's degree in precision optics. So most people hear optics and they think about eyeglasses. Instead, optics students work with lasers, fiber optics, backup cameras on cars, and smartphones. So those optics is really an up and coming opportunity and a career possibility following MCC. Criminal justice is one of our most popular majors at MCC. It's in our top 5 for programs of study, and it offers both an associate's degree that allows you to transfer, as well as a career degree that allows you to go into a criminal justice field following your degree at MCC. So we do have automotive tech, which offers apprenticeships as well. So students can get hands-on experience while they're at MCC with some of our local dealerships, as well as construction technology and precision machining. So the programs listed here are all offered fully online, except right now I don't believe the accounting technician is completely online, but everything from business administration to all of our education degrees, math, criminal justice, and psychology, they're all offered completely online and virtually at this time. So these are some of the organizations and companies that are employing MCC alumni. And just a few of the organizations where they are, but people who are employed, some of our MCC grads that are working in these organizations have gotten to the level in these companies, such as CEOs, VPs, and presidents. Some of them I'm sure look very familiar, like Wegmans and NASA on there. But these are some of the places where our alumni are employed. So we've tried to set up a community for you at MCC, and I just wanted to share a little bit about some of the programs that we have to help support students. So Dwight stands for Doing What is Good and Healthy Together, and that we have Dwight on our main campus, in our residence halls, and also at the downtown campus. And Dwight is a food pantry for students and staff, anyone that's part of our MCC community, and they can take advantage of that. We also have Single Stop, which can connect students to organizations and community agencies that can provide support for a student if a student was in need for some support outside of school. Our career services, we talked a little bit about. They can give you the opportunity to both explore careers, but also to get some of your own career pieces set up, like your resume, and practice interviewing and do some job searching. They can help with all of those pieces. Dream Keepers is a scholarship, and that's to provide assistance to students that are at MCC, that are taking classes, and something happens in their life where they might need support with that to continue going to school. It could be something where your car breaks down and you need that transportation so that you can get to class. So MCC would help pay to repair the car to allow the student to continue so they can continue with their education. So that's our Dream Keeper Scholarship. We do have childcare assistance, including a childcare center on campus at the main campus, as well as childcare subsidies to help students afford childcare. transportation assistance as well. So students that are full-time at MCC that are taking on-campus classes have access to the RTS bus system. So that I believe it was their ID was working as a bus pass in terms of not just using it when you come to class, but while the semester is in session, you have access to use the RTS bus lines as you need them. And then financial literacy programs. We have a financial empowerment zone where there's free consumer counsel, counseling for financial literacy classes. So we hope that students can take advantage of that as well. So in terms of affordability and how students can pay for MCC, the tuition, now this is from 2020, 2021, so the tuition could be changing a little bit as we move into the upcoming fall 2021 semester. But as a full-time student, the tuition cost is it's about $2,300. There are some fees that can also be included in that. And then part-time students, so full-time students is 12 to 18 credits, which is about 12 credits is usually about 4 classes. So anything, once you hit 12 credits up to 18 would be the same cost as a full-time student. And then part-time, if you wanted to take not as many classes at once, you could take up to 1 credit to 11 credits and you would be considered part-time. And the cost for that is based on the credit hour. So it's $196 per credit hour. Financial aid is often a resource that students will use to help pay for their education. So there are—
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Oh, sure.
If I'm gonna be like a full-time for fall and spring, can I be also a part-time for summer? Will this affect financial aid or something?
Yes, that's a great question. So students do, they can go full-time and part-time in the fall and spring, and then part-time in the summer. Depending on our summer, we have 2 summer sessions. So each summer session is about 5 weeks long. So you could do a class each session. The thing to keep in mind with summer is a normal 15-week semester is squished into 5. So we just try to let students know to be careful on how much you take on in a session, because things are going to move a lot quicker in the classes, in the courses. But there is financial aid available for the summer as well. And I would speak with our financial aid office or wherever institution you attend in terms of just finding out if you do use that summer financial aid, how that could impact your fall or your spring. But I think I don't want to speak to that directly. I'm not in financial aid, but also I feel each student's eligibility and financial aid is so different that I would want you to really check with somebody in that office so that you know exactly if you planned out how you were taking your classes, they could let you know how each piece would impact or if it would impact the other pieces, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for asking.
I have a question too. So if you take, if you're a part-time student, how much does it affect the financial aid? Because I heard that if you're like part-time, that FAFSA doesn't cover it or something, that it affects somehow, but I don't understand how.
Yeah, so there is some financial aid for part-time study. And each situation is so different. Every student is eligible for different amounts of aid and parts of aid. So I apologize. I'm feeling like I should have had someone from our financial aid office here with us today. But I know there is part-time aid available, and that might be through the state. So that might be through the TAP application. So there's a federal application for financial aid. And then there's also the TAP application, which is for state aid. And they offer grants through both of those, which is money that you don't have to pay back. But in terms of part-time, I'm not as versed in financial aid to say whether it's federal or state, but I know there is part-time aid available for students. So again, I think it's really important, especially because everyone is eligible for different types of aid and different amounts of aid, that you speak with our financial aid office or wherever it is you're attending college to reach out to the financial aid office.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking. And I'm going to remember this. And when we come back, I will bring someone from financial aid so they can be more specific with you. We do also at MCC offer scholarships. We have over $1.6 million of scholarship awarded specifically to MCC students each year. And this is through our MCC Foundation, which raises money specifically to help support and provide scholarships to students. So please take advantage of that. That's a whole nother opportunity in addition to financial aid that can help support students attending college. There are, as part of financial aid, there are also potentially loans, low interest loans, and there's work study. And work study allows you, it's part of financial aid, but it allows you to work on campus and be paid through financial aid in terms of doing that work on campus. And then there is the aid for part-time study, and I'm sorry that I'm not sure how that's directly related to FAFSA, but I do know that it's available.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. I had to switch where my sound was coming from, so I wanted to make sure you could hear me. I was just looking at financial aid this morning for a student, and so we offer, there's TAP, which is New York State tuition assistance, and there is TAP for part-time students. So there's state aid that's for part-time students. You can also apply we would have students apply for both the FAFSA and TAP, so the federal aid and the state aid. And then that would really tell us, because there are, as Tracy said, so many factors that impact aid that a student might receive. So we have students apply for both, and then the financial aid office would be able to review with you what your eligibility is.
Thank you, Jess, I appreciate that. And then
and one more, I'm sorry.
Oh, please, yes, go ahead.
If the person applied for financial aid in the beginning of the year, is this financial aid covers whole year, or it's supposed to be reapplied each semester?
So it covers the school year. So it runs on school years. So the next, so for the upcoming fall, you would apply fall 2021 and spring 2022. So it runs on the school year, not the traditional calendar year. But yeah, so it's good for both the fall and spring semester, and then you reapply for it each year.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for asking. So the next steps, if you're interested in MCC, are to apply, and our application is right on our website. If you go to our webpage, which is monroecc.edu, and then to admissions, our application is right on that webpage. In addition to your application, if you could submit your high school transcript or your task or GED, and then if you have any college credits from any other colleges, we would want you to submit that college transcript as well, so that we could award you credit for what you've already done and accomplished towards your MCC degree. So I'm gonna hand this over to Jess, and she's gonna talk about our new program at MCC called Pathways to College.
Yes, exciting program. So if you wanna go ahead and go to the next slide.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So, are we missing so Pathways to College is a program that was created to assist students who don't have a high school diploma or high school equivalency diploma. So I think maybe we just missed a slide somewhere in here. That's okay, Tracy. So the grant that we got from ESL Federal Credit Union offers students financial support for tuition and fees through one of the options for earning a high school equivalency diploma through the state, which is earning 24 college credits. So we financially support students by paying the tuition and fees for those 24 credits, and also through one of our certificate programs. And Tracy mentioned this already, but we have a lot of different certificate programs, and most of those programs are really direct to career kind of certificates. So we have options in human services, in healthcare, in any number of other information technology, and many other optics and machining. So it's a really great opportunity for students who typically would not be eligible for federal financial aid, or at least not for much, because without a high school diploma or equivalency diploma, you aren't really eligible for federal financial aid, or at least for very little federal financial aid. So this gives students an opportunity not to accrue debt while they're trying to earn their high school credential and a certificate. And it also offers the students a lot of additional supports, because we know a lot of students come to us without high school diplomas, and they have been out of school for a long time. They're feeling a little bit uncertain about their place in college and those sorts of things. So we offer students a lot of support. Part of that is through my role, which is as the student advocate and advisor. And I help the students from sort of the beginning to the finish of that program. And I coordinate supports for them as well. So if they're having issues, housing insecurity, food insecurity, are in need of counseling, are in need of tutoring, I can assist them in sort of finding the right places for those needs. And so when students are done with our Pathways to College program, they have those two credentials, the high school equivalency diploma and a certificate. They can go and get a great job, or they can continue on with their education either at MCC or at another institution, where all those credits are transferable into either an associate's degree program at the college or into a program elsewhere. So as I already mentioned, students can receive greater financial aid when they're done. So after they've earned that certificate, they apply for financial aid in the same way that, that any other student would, and are now able to earn greater financial aid to support them if they want to continue on their educational journey. So, oh, that's what it was. They just got, I think we got them flip-flopped, or maybe I flip-flopped them. As I said before, we cover tuition and fees. We also cover students' books with this program. And eligibility is that students cannot have earned their high school diploma or an equivalency diploma, and they need to be New York State residents for at least 1 month prior to entering the program. So we work with students who are years out of high school, who we have some students who are being referred to us by our high school partners. Right now, with the pandemic, we have a lot of school districts who are finding challenges with some of their students, in that they're having to have conversations with them about taking a 5th or even a 6th year of high school because they struggled so much with sort of the challenges that have been brought on by COVID. And so we have students who kind of are right out of high school, and then students who are many years out. And the program also is for students who have IEP diplomas, or students with correspondence diplomas, which we sometimes see. But it's really a great and exciting opportunity for students who are looking for a different way of completing their high school equivalency diploma. And I know that OASIS offers assistance to students seeking a GED, and this is sort of an alternate route. And one of the things I would also say is we're looking at our community partners as well, and kind of thinking about how we can help this population of students and their needs, some of whom will want to earn a GED, which MCC does not offer assistance with that any longer, and some students who will want to earn the 24 credit hours as their route to a high school diploma, and really want to build this relationship so we can sort of have an exchange in some ways, so we can encourage students to seek out community organizations, and then also help students who might want to do it this way. But we're really excited about this because, again, it basically the student doesn't have to pay tuition and fees for the approximately 2 years that it takes to complete the credentials. And that's something we've never been able to offer students before. And in the past, we've always had to say, if you don't have the high school diploma, that we'd have to have students earn the GED or a task diploma and then come back to us. So now we're able to offer them an alternate solution. And I don't know
I just want to make sure we got through all your slides.
And this is just, and this is very similar to what Tracy was saying in terms of applying to be part of our Pathways program. You can contact me or contact my office at pathwaystocollege@monroecc.edu. And we have students who reach out to us directly to that email. We also have organizations and high schools who reach out to us sometimes through that when they have individuals that they want to refer. And then the process for this is the same as for admission to MCC in general. So we'd ask students to apply from our website, so monroecc.edu, and also to submit high school transcripts. And I just have the email address here that transcripts can be sent to. There's also a mailing address that's listed on our website too. And if students don't have a high school transcript, which also sometimes happens with this population of students, we would have them tested to determine placement. So that's not a big deal. We do have testing still available. Just most of it is virtual at this point, but we do have testing available for students who don't have transcripts.
So thank you I know you've done a lot of listening to both Jessica and I. So please, if there's any questions, we would love to have a conversation and answer any questions that you may have.
Doesn't seem like there's any questions, but also if students need help applying or have any questions, we have our digital literacy volunteers here at Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 1, and they can assist you with navigating the website and contacting Tracy or Jessica if need be. So there's always that support as well here.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Hear me?
We can hear you. Tracy, do you want to end, stop sharing so we can see everybody?
Oh, sure, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I until this semester was a professor, so I'm very, I just want to see people or at least see names.
Okay, maybe I have one question. My name is Kenda. I finished my study in another country, not in US, and I have a high school and I have a BA in English language, but you know, the education level different from country to other. I have been here for 3 years, sorry. I have a big experience in the International Committee of Red Cross, if you heard. I worked 10 years with the human service. My question is, I have a level in English, but I don't know from where I have start to study and get something help me with my experience, because I have 10 years with a big organization in the world. If you heard about that, we work under the war, under many difficult situations. So I need to go back to my career, but I don't know how I start. I went to the MCC. I passed the English grammar exam, but I didn't pass the math because I forget everything. This is the truth. Now I want to improve my English. Then I want to study something, have any relation with my experience, a human service. I went to the MCC and I met Mr. Dam. Sorry if I didn't say the name right. He's very old man. and he was very nice. He said, you will pass everything because I feel you are good, but because I have two daughters, so he said, go and take your daughters to the school, then come back, because they was 1 year and 1.5 years. Now I have time online, so from where I can start. I feel I lost here when I come to the US.
Thank you so much for asking and sharing. So it sounds like you've already taken our English as a second language test and passed that. And so if you were interested in starting at MCC, it would be completing the application, getting your application in. And I don't know if you're deciding on programs or if you wanted to go into our human services program.
I need someone to see my resume, because why I want to study, because I want to get job in the end.
Sure.
Not just study.
Of course.
Yeah. And in the same time, I have a big experience. I don't want to lose the 10 years. I work very hard.
Yeah.
And I have recommendation papers from two important organizations in the world. So I don't want to delete all what I have just because I come to the US.
Right.
So I need something to help me to start and to find a job in the same. Improve my language. I asked about the ESL before 2 years, and they told me there is no online.
So we are.
So
I
want me to do another exam in English language. Just I need someone guide me, guys, to start my study.
I think
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think our Global Education and International Services Office would be a great place for you to start. And Don Beach is who I suspect you spoke with. He's wonderful. He's retiring very soon, and I'm heartbroken about that, though he deserves it. But I would actually suggest maybe getting on his schedule before he leaves, because he already spoke with you, and he is really wonderful at helping students and ensuring that he's looking at the full picture of the student, and really knows about, English as a second language and how to best benefit students in that way. I think any student I can get in with him before he leaves us, I think it will be a benefit to them. So I would be happy. I don't know if you want to share maybe your name and email address or phone number in our chat, maybe. Or I can share my email address. And
no, for me it's okay. I will send my email for you.
Okay. Thank you. And I will reach out to Don and ask him to contact you and set up an appointment. I think that'd be the best way to begin.
Yeah, and starting now, you'll have good amount of time to get ready for the fall and get everything.
I cannot forget his word, because when he met me, he said, just find the time. I'm sure you will pass the ESL in very short time. And he gave me something, he pushed me, but my situation was very hard. I have two daughters and
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is my email, and
hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Gina. Let me see. I can turn off the video. Oh. So a few of my students had questions, just generally the same thing with English level. And also a lot of them have their degrees in their home countries, like this other student was saying. So is there a certain contact person you'd recommend that I send them to directly?
So,
Tracy, do you want
yeah, so I think, as Jessica said, our Global Education office is a great place to start, as well as admissions, because we do have colleagues in the admissions office that work specifically with our international students. So I think one or the other to kind of get started. And then we always connect back and forth between the two.
Alrighty, thank you.
You're welcome.
Another student was wondering if you have any, I think, radiology programs.
Yes, we have a 2-year radiologic technology program. It's one of our competitive health programs, so it's a little bit different than a traditional MCC program in the admission piece. A lot of times students will need to take classes, and depending how they do in those classes, they compete against other students in terms of getting into the program. So there's prerequisites, and then there's also courses that are selection courses that determine who gets in based on how well they do. So it's a little bit different process, but we do offer it, and we'd be happy to talk with somebody more about it or get more information to them if they were interested.
Can you also clarify if the student completes every prerequisite, is he going straight to the program, or is it like waiting list or something?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. So if a student completes the prerequisites, they get reviewed for the program. So they're compared against the other students that also completed those courses. So there's prerequisite courses, and then there's also selection courses. So the selection courses, you get points for, based on your grades. So if you have a 3-credit class and you get an A, you would get 12 points for that class. So there's each competitive health program has different prerequisites and different selection courses, and they add up the points for the selection courses, and that's how they compare students to see who will get admitted into the program. So if you, students coming out of high school that are applying for some of these programs may get put on a wait list based on how they place, but then students who are not coming directly out of high school, there's usually not a wait list. If they're not selected into the program, then they often go into a health studies program that would allow them to take any courses that they still need, or help them find a path that would work for them. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it gives me another question.
Sure.
Is there any chances that like the student completed the pathway for prerequisites, and then someone gave him an opportunity to go straight into program? Or that's unreal?
Without doing the selection courses?
It's like the student is under nursing program, but he's taking health science something, like prerequisites, and in the middle of his pathway to complete the prerequisites, he can go straight to the program.
So the programs are set up with very specific deadlines. So so it's kind of hard to do it. Everyone kind of has to have their stuff in by, like, for the fall, it's January 31st. And so you have to meet that deadline, and then everyone gets reviewed together, if that makes sense. Okay. Thank you, though. Thank you for these questions, because these are often questions that come up for students, and the health related is a complicated one.
I do have another student question. We have a few students who are really interested in this new Pathways program for the high school. So how simple do you think it would be for an OASIS student to transfer into that?
So I think it's as simple as applying for admission to MCC and submitting transcripts or getting placement tested, depending on where they are at. Honestly, I'm looking at student information all the time, and we're recruiting students for our Pathways program for both the summer and the fall semester right now. So it's really just a matter of providing our admissions office with that information, the admissions application and the transcript. And then if they want to sort of even expedite it even more, they would contact me or email our Pathways to College email, so that I can then let admissions know, here's my list of interested students in Pathways, and then it more quickly gets to me instead of going to, not that it's super long, but a lot of times students will go through one of our admissions counselors first, and then they will talk to the students about their options and then filter them to me. But if a student reaches out to me or through our Pathways to College at monroecc.edu email, then I just give admissions a heads up that the student will be submitting their application. And once we have all that information, their information just comes back to me so I can review it and contact the student. So it's actually pretty quick.
Great. And that is they're only eligible for that if they don't already have the high school diploma. What if they have it in their home country? Would that be an individual basis if it's considered equivalent or not to the New York State one?
So Tracy, you might be better equipped to answer this. I wish we had someone from GEIS here because they are Global Education and International Services Office, like Don, because he would have a very quick answer to this. But Tracy,
yeah,
do you?
So often students, if they submit their high school an international transcript and if it's translated, if it needs to be, and reviewed, we can award them credit for being a high school grad.
So then they'd want to do just regular college program. Okay.
And then those students would also be eligible for financial aid that students who don't have the high school diploma wouldn't be. So that's sort of one of the big differences, is if they have, and we can give them credit for having the high school diploma, they're also eligible to receive more financial aid, both in the form of grants and low interest loans. Whereas our students without that usually get very little, and it wouldn't be enough to cover tuition and fees.
Right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for asking. Are there any other questions we can answer?
I just want to mention that I put my email address right in the chat. So if anyone wants to reach out to me for that appointment with Don, please feel free to do so. And I can connect you right with him, or anyone else who has questions about Pathways to College, please feel free to contact me.
Yes, and please, for admissions, our email is very simple. It's just admissions@monroecc.edu. If you have any questions about that process, we're happy to help.
And I can send out an email as well with your emails for the teachers and students.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Let's see, that might be it. But thank you so much for speaking. You gave a lot of important information for all of our students here that are looking to attend college. So thank you. And everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. And thank you for the questions. And please let us know if more questions come up and we can help.
Thank you.
Thank you for the answers.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care, everybody.
You too. Thank you.